there's a little bit of a miscommunication, I think, more than anything about the spring game. We are going to have a spring event, and we have never really had a total spring game anyway, but this year it's just going to be hard to have 120 plays with only 8 offensive linemen. So we're going to have a good show. There's going to be some scrimmaging and some other parts of practice, all parts of special teams, so it'll be a very, very good event that day. It just probably won't be 120 some plays of scrimmaging like it has been in the past.
So no pads today. Is this just because you wanted to review like you had talked about the other day?
Well, you know that there's actually a rule in spring ball. You have to have 3 non-padded days. So this is our 3rd one. And but the way we're practicing this year with going on Monday, Tuesday, back to back, we may just go shells next Monday too, and then have three good solid days that are all separated with a little time. So that's the purpose for it.
I want to talk to you about Coach Perry. I mean, you lose Keith to UW, but then right there, a guy you go way back with, and kind of talk just kind of how that came to be, and it's kind of one of those things that follow this guy for you.
Well, that's about right. You know, we haven't had to replace a lot of people through the years, but when we did this year, you know, I think it was as much, and it usually is, about timing. You know, that the thing blew up at the Colts about the time we needed a guy, and I thought, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. And so I called Rod, and, you know, through the course of not too much time, he agreed to take the job, and that's a real bonus for us. He brings a lot of experience and a great quality character.
How much convincing does it take for a guy who's been out of the college game for 20-something years to jump back into it?
I don't know. I think it was it didn't take a lot. I think the comfort level was our relationship, and the fact that he also had worked with Mark Banker before, that was big, and he knew Cav from the Chargers from before that. So, you know, we had some connections there that made it, I think, a little more comfortable. And then you know, he's not ready to retire. He's got a lot of coaching left in him. So I think this was it just happened to be good timing for the Beavers, I think, as it turned out. And he'll be a great benefit to our players.
Mike, I know on Saturday you kind of mentioned you were doing a lot of the play calling. I was just curious, is that like for spring only? You think that might fall into fall?
For right now, it's for spring. And I know what the defense is calling on each play, and I'd like to see our offense be able to handle it. So I call stuff that might be tougher for us, or that I might want the quarterback to see a certain something in there. So it's a way to orchestrate, you know, a big picture look. You know, a lot of times in spring ball, you know, you're competing against each other and you're thinking about the winning the play. But the fact of the matter is we have to do all of this pointed toward winning games in the fall. So that's what I'm trying to orchestrate most everywhere in practice.
Mike, for guys like Jordan Bishop and Colin Kelly who are out for the spring, what do you want from them besides obviously getting healthy and rehab? I mean, are they're watching, learning?
Well, they should absolutely be on top of everything that we're doing, and you know, be very sharp by the time they get to practice again, because there's no doubt they're losing ground. You know, somebody else is getting those turns, somebody else is progressing. So, you know, the only way that they can come back and be ready to play and compete for their spot is to really be sharp mentally now, and as much as they can be able to use it so they're comfortable mentally, and the physical part is the only part that's left to prove.
Talk a little bit about the O-line. I know you're really thin there, but you know, talk about how you like what's going on there.
You know, I think that the benefit there, Angie, is that those guys get to play a lot. We get to teach them a lot and help develop them, and they can prove, you know, whether or not they're going to be viable players when we get to fall camp. And that's probably a great deal for them, and very important for us, because we expect some new guys in the fall to step right into that competition. So these guys rising up and competing and getting better is very important if they want to play.
How about Michael Phillips? How's he looking?
I think it's great to have him back, and I think that he's one of those guys that's got to work like crazy and continue to grow. And then if they all do that, we're going to have a lot of good competition when we get to fall camp. But it's great to have him back.
Roman Sapolu really grow 2 inches and put on like 15 and a half?
He is definitely stronger, which was his biggest issue. You know, his athleticism has always been outstanding. He's always a very smart player. And the fact that he is actually bigger and stronger, I didn't know he was taller.
Yeah, it said 6'2".
It said that, or he was measured at that. Okay, 6'2". Then he's really, grown leaps and bounds. No, but he has gotten stronger and heavier. So, and that's exactly what we need. We need somebody getting ready to play that center position.
Mike, going back to the play calling, does this allow Danny to just focus on developing the quarterbacks?
Yeah, and you know, calling plays in spring ball is pretty easy. The most everything I've scripted, you know, or at least had some notes where I just call off some notes. So it's really not a big deal. It's really so that I know what the defense is doing and I can call plays according to what I want to see, and I wanted to do it for the quarterbacks, receivers, for the protection, for all those parts. So that's all there is to it. It's not that big of an issue.
I noticed Brandon Cooks doing a lot of end arounds, reverses in practice. Is he kind of stepping into that James Rodgers role for this offense?
Absolutely has to, but I think that what we have to do is we always want two guys to do it. We want Marcus to be able to run those plays. We want Brandon to be able to do that, and then we're looking for the next person to do it. I think Micah Hatfield looks like he might be able to be good at it too. So, you know, I think it's always important that we have that guy in our offense somewhere as a receiver.
Is he sitting out?
Yeah.
Who?
Hatfield?
Yeah, he got dinged a little bit the other day, and so you know how that is. It probably means he'll sit out tomorrow too.
Anyone else healthy?
Yeah, Caleb Smith had a strain hamstring, so we'll see where he goes in the next couple of days.